Well, hello again folks, and I hope you're all still keeping well out there. Now, the last time I was here after the rabbits, I was using my Ruger 1022 and 22 rimfire, and I got about, I think it was 7 rabbits, which I suppose wasn't too bad for all the time I was sitting. Though I did mention at the end of the film about possibly using my 17 Hornet, but was worried about meat damage. But it did get me thinking, how much damage could there be with that little 17 caliber 20 grain ballistic tip bullet travelling at about 3,500 feet per second? As, after all, I do intend to take headshots. Plus, I also realised if I parked the Shogun on the access road at the far side of the field, I could cover the whole field from the one position with the little 17 Hornet. There always seems to be a bit of a confusion with my 17 Hornet, which is a CZ527 Varmint in a form stock, as a lot of people seem to think it's a rimfire, a 17 HMR. It's not, it's a centerfire cartridge based off the 22 Hornet. The reason why I went for it over a 17 HMR, well, here in Northern Ireland it's considered Fox capable, where a rimfire isn't. I know, I don't make the rules, I just have to follow them. Plus the fact I can reload my own ammunition, which definitely helps with accuracy. As for the rest of the setup, I'm using a Meopta 4-16x44 tactical scope, held on with a set of worn rings, and the suppressor up front is a Wildcat Panther in 17 caliber. As for the night vision, I'm using a powered NV007 on the rifle, and a powered NV019 spotter to help scan the field with. Now, it took a wee while for things to settle down till I spotted my first rabbit, which gave itself away by a distinctive little white flash of tail at the bottom of the field. The rabbit was about 90 yards away, and it was still light enough for the powered NV007 to record the footage in day mode. Well, that was the first one down, but I left it where it lay, as I didn't want to put off any other rabbits coming out by tramping my scent all over the place. Now, the second rabbit really caught me by surprise, as I just noticed a bit of movement to my left hand side. The rabbit was only really about 25 yards away, as I had to adjust the parallax on the scope to get a clear picture. That one was that close, I could have taken it with the air rifle, never mind a centre fire. By this stage, it had gotten dark enough where I could switch to full night mode. On the powered NV019, I had zoomed the Yuma in to its highest magnification, then set the IR beam to its narrowest point, thinking this would give me the best picture possible, but I did find it quite grainy. But it was still more than capable of finding rabbits, and this was another close one. Unfortunately though, I couldn't find it in the rifle scope. The field of view was far too narrow, as I had it set up for 90 yards or more. I tried adjusting the parallax down and the magnification, but by that stage the rabbit must have heard me and fogged off back into the hedgerow again. A wee while longer, and I spotted a glimmer of eyeshine at the bottom of the hedge, close to where I shot the first rabbit. This time the rabbit was far easier to find in the scope, though there seemed to be two of them, one in the hedgerow and one out in the field. So I decided to go for the one in the field, as it should be easier to find once I shot it. That's if it ever sits still enough for a shot. Plus, I didn't realise till after I watched this footage how noisy that Horus bipod is. That's that one down, but no sign of his mate. It's obviously decided to make a strategic retreat after the sound of the shot. After that shot, I took the opportunity to top the magazine up, as unlike my 1022, it really only holds the 4 rounds. I think it's supposed to take 5, but it seems far too tight at that, so I keep it at 4. The next little scan round with the powered NV019, I spotted eyeshine just over the hedge in the other field, which sits a bit higher than this one. I actually was hoping it was a fox, as it seemed quite bright for a rabbit. But once I got it in the rifle scope, I realised it was a rabbit, probably at about 130 yards, though I had to wait until it moved slightly to get a clear shot through the foliage. I was actually quite chuffed with that shot, and that the powered NV007 was actually clear enough to take it at that distance, with its own built-in IR illuminator too. Did you hear that? Vixen and heat call. Sounds like somebody's out after the foxes on the neighbouring farm. You've probably noticed, but I widened the IR beam on the NV019, which seems to be giving me a better picture now. I noticed another faint eye shine in the field the other side of the hedge, close to where I shot the other rabbit. So I switched to the rifle to see if I could make head or tail of it. It is faint, but you can just about see the rabbit's head and eye shine on the right hand side of the crosshairs. It is within range, but I decided it was too close to the ridgeline for a safe shot, so left it alone. I got a little impatient where I was, so took a little keek through the gateway into the neighbouring field, and sure enough there was a few rabbits out there. So I tiptoed back for the rifle to see if I could get one. Ach, you can stay there then, less likelihood of you falling any further. I tiptoed my way back again, even though it still sounded like I was tramping on cornflakes, and decided this should be an easy task. Just deploy the bipod, lie down and get a nice steady shot. Not so lucky though, as I found when I started searching for the rabbits, there was a lot of tall grass or weeds in front of me. So decided in plan B, get up into a higher sitting position for the shot. Thankfully, this got me up high enough for a clear shot. The only problem was, the rabbit wouldn't sit still, and was constantly moving to the left hand side, so I had to keep constantly moving my sitting position to follow it. But finally, I got my opportunity. Unfortunately, the other rabbit didn't hang around after the sound of the shot. I suppose that's one disadvantage of using the little centre fire compared to subsonics in a rimfire. Now and again, I'd give the field behind the Shogun a bit of a scan, as you never know what you might spot. And this time I did spot something interesting. Yep, Foxy, dandering across the stubble field. I gave it a wee bit of a lip squeak to see if I could pull it back through the hedge again, but nope, it was away. And by the look it gave me before it disappeared, it knew quite well I was there. Yep, with that little shiver, it was getting cold by this stage, and it was getting quite late. But I hung in there until I spotted one last rabbit down at the bottom end of the field where I'd shot two others before. And with that, I called it a night, though I did take a look at the stubble field to see if Foxy was still about while I was out gathering the rabbits, but unfortunately there was nothing there, not even a rabbit. And talk about rabbits, I only managed to pick up 5 of the rabbits I'd shot. The one in the field where I had to take in a sitting position I couldn't find. Maybe I lost it in the long grass, or maybe Foxy beat me to it. Who knows? Well folks, I hope you enjoyed that. And as far as meat damage goes, there only really was the one that was bruised all the way back to the front shoulders. So there was still a good bit of meat to be harvested from them. Anyway folks, take care and look after yourselves, hey.